come have fun with us and don't forget to subscribe.
What's up, everybody? I'm Rick.
And I'm Anna.
And today we are here to tell you a little story. Our little story, Anna.
Is it little?
Is it? It's ours, no matter how big or little it is. You know, we recently made a video about, the pregnancy, you being pregnant.
Yes, in case it is not obvious enough from this angle
Yes.
in the video.
And over the years we've made a few videos about ourselves and other topics, and one of the questions that come back the most often is, where are you from and how did you meet? We made a video talking about how we met, but it was kind of just the how we met part, and so I thought we'd go a little bit deeper, how I met your mother style, and tell a more general story of
Which means that you guys are gonna be here for 8 years.
Kids, I'm gonna tell you an incredible story. The story of how I met your mother.
Are we being punished for something?
No?
Yeah, is this gonna take a while?
Yes.
No, we should be done within 7 seasons or so. So, Anna, this is the story of how a Canadian / Haitian, born in Venezuela guy met a Romanian girl in Tokyo and ended up marrying her, and now we're having a kid together. So, I guess we should start the story at the beginning.
At the beginning.
Yes.
It all started in 1990.
For you, it started then, right? But the beginning for us, of course, is Tokyo, Japan.
2014.
Where we met. Yes. How did you get there, Anna?
I went to study there, actually. I got into a student exchange program to study in Japan for a year. I was studying in an intensive Japanese language program. So it was a lot of culture and literature, and the language itself, of course. And I was staying in a dorm, the dorm of the school, and that's where I was.
Yes.
In September of 2014.
On my side, I remember it like it was 2014. I was also in Japan for a student exchange program. In my case, I wasn't there to study intensive Japanese, though I did take some Japanese classes. I was there to just continue my home program, but in Japan, at a certain university, Waseda University.
Right.
Yes, I'm wearing the hoodie here. It's storytelling through the objects in the room. And I was also living in a dorm, which happens to be the same dorm you were talking about earlier. Oh, wow. Anna.
That's where the story starts to come together.
Yes, exactly. That's where the story begins. So I came to Tokyo and was in the dorm about 2 days before you.
Yeah.
And we talk about that quite often, about when did we first meet or acknowledge each other. I remember you visiting the dorm. Doing the tour.
Yeah, as soon as I got there. I remember the day when I got there, we arrived, I think maybe around noon or early afternoon, and I was wasted. The plane trip was very long. My luggage had broken. And I hadn't even had time to change, and they made us do a tour of the dorm right away. I was just out of it. I don't even remember much of those first few hours.
When you say wasted, you mean tired. You don't mean
yes,
drunk.
tired. No, not drunk. No,
Yeah.
I was very tired.
The drunkenness will come later on in the story. And so
we do not insert alcohol yet.
At that moment, that was the first time I saw you.
But I did not see you.
Yes.
I do not remember that part. You always tell me that you saw me on that tour, and I never remember.
Yeah. But that wasn't the first time we talked.
No.
Right? So was it that night or the...
Yes, it was the same night.
That there was a party for the dorm. We were playing bingo or something else. I don't remember. They organized some activities so everyone could mingle and get together, and it was followed by an evening at a bar, right?
Right.
An
It was an izakaya.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was a welcoming party, right, for everyone. Because with my batch of students, the batch of students that I came with, it was gonna be the dorm was full.
Yeah.
We were the last ones to arrive.
so everybody could get together. It was pretty manageable, like the size of the dorm, so it was easy for everyone to know each other and for all of us to get to an izakaya together. And I remember, so we're coming to the point where we maybe talked for the first time. At the izakaya, I was just moving from table to table because I was like, I'm here, I'm meeting new people. Let me actually meet new people, right? So I wanted to say hi to everyone, have a bit of a conversation with each of the tables, not necessarily everyone individually, but each of the groups, right? And I stopped at your table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, there is another step in between, actually.
Oh.
When the party first started, and at first it was in the dorm, like in a common area in the dorm. When I got there into the room, that's when I first noticed you.
Oh.
I saw, like, as soon as I came to the door, I even remember, like, where you were sitting and you were talking to some people, and that's when I noticed you, and I thought, that guy is cute.
Oh, was my hair nice? Oh.
Yeah, you had
my hair was braided.
braids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good days. So I guess at different moments during the day, right, we noticed each other.
Yeah.
But then we talked, I don't remember about what, some generalities, just chit-chatting at the izakaya. And when we really started talking was later on during the night where we went to karaoke.
Yes,
my
big
one
experience in Japan.
Yeah, my number one activity in Japan is karaoke. And it was an all-you-can-drink karaoke, but I was kind of like, I spent so much money already in these 1 week that I've been here. Let me not take the all-you-can-drink. Decision that I regretted immediately as I look around me and everyone
because
was
it's
drinking.
So much fun to drink and sing karaoke. And,
exactly.
But I had taken the drinks.
Exactly, and so you offered me.
Yes, so I noticed that you weren't drinking, and I asked you if you want some of my alcohol because I could get all I wanted.
Yeah.
And I remember we weren't supposed to do that because
I didn't pay for it.
It wasn't. There's like it's not really fair for those who pay, but I still thought that you were cute later in the night, so I bent the rules a little bit.
And so that's. As you were giving me alcohol, we started talking more and more and getting to know each other.
I became your friend at the party because I was giving you the drinks,
the
so
alcohol,
you had to hang out with me more.
I was stuck there, like, I want this alcohol. So that's when we started talking and hanging out more often. I remember, later on you would tell me, because I think the day after, I texted you like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And then I went to visit you in your room. And later on, you would ask me like, "Oh, why did I do that?" I never really had any, plan or motive or anything. I was in Japan as a student. I was just having fun with people, And so I had fun with you that night. So I was just like, "Hey, you want to do something else? Let's go out or let's just hang out in a room."
I think there was a bit of like cultural difference there because to me, I remember it came off as very bold. That like the very next day, we had just like talked the night before a little bit, and then the very next day you asked me like, "Oh, hey, do you want to hang out or something?" And it was like, "Oh my gosh, this guy is like really going for something." But then we talked about it, like you said, and you said like, "Oh no, I was just like being chill, just like hanging out with you, with everyone else." But yeah, to me it was very quick, I guess. Yeah.
Too quick?
I mean, I just went along with it. Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't something that I was expecting.
But again, I had no ulterior motive, and to be fair, how could I have? I didn't go to Japan with the idea that like I'm gonna go out there and find a wife,
Right, exactly. Or even like a lasting relationship.
Exactly.
Like, it was not something that was on my mind at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
But it came to become that, right? As we hung out more and more with did different activities in Japan together. At some point we ended up kind of being a couple. It wasn't that defined at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
The relationship. We were just kind of hanging out together, going out on on dates.
And
But
most of the times when we were hanging out, we were just hanging out with other people,
Yes,
with
also.
everyone else in the dorm.
Mhm,
But we were also just going out, just the two of us a lot.
mhm.
And I remember there weren't a lot of people that I would hang out with one-on-one. I mean, I made a few other friends, but every time I wanted to go somewhere and there wasn't a group activity, I would always call you or ask you or like text you,
Mhm.
like, hey, do you want to go there? It was so easy, it was so natural, and it was easy to get along with you. I
Yeah,
think.
well, we enjoyed each other's company, and so
Yeah.
I guess that's how we ended up going to all these activities together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with time, we kind of became a couple. You kind of came to live in my room even.
Oh my God, yes, I spent just so much time
Yeah,
there.
you were there so often.
Most of my time when I was studying, for example, and stuff like this, I would always like just go to your room and just stay there, just hang out there all the time.
And so the two of us were together, and we never. I'm thinking about that now as we're doing this video. Like we spent the year together in Japan, you know, going around the country, doing different activities. We were a couple, right? But we never really talked about like a future
Right.
plan or like the
What was going to
obvious
happen once the 1 year abroad
would be over.
Would be over.
Yeah.
Because I had to go back to Romania and then
I had to go back to Canada.
Yeah.
And we both knew that, but we never had the conversation. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, no, we didn't. We didn't. We only had, it was so brief, and it was really towards the end. I remember it was like 2 lines probably, where I think I asked you something like, oh, what are we gonna do, you know, when we have to go back? And then you just said, well, we'll just continue.
Yeah.
It was just so, it was almost like we both
A matter
already
of fact.
understood that that's what was gonna happen, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, I was happy with the way that went, even though there was no like serious conversation, because I felt like we were on the same wavelength, you know?
Yeah, like the fact that we didn't have a conversation, you know, kind of, some people could interpret it as like, oh no, that's irresponsible. You should.
Yeah. Or like you
know
were
what
avoiding,
you were avoiding
the topic.
But to me, it feels more like we both knew that it's just gonna keep going, no matter what form it takes.
Yeah.
We're just gonna still be in each other's lives, and so there wasn't a need to be like, oh, do we stop this or not? No, we weren't gonna stop.
Right.
And I mean, it turns out okay, right? Because you're here now.
Yeah.
But we're not there at that point of the story. We are at the goodbye.
Yeah.
That Carol is one smart cookie.
Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend.
You have been the one. You have been the one for me.
The goodbye in Japan after a year together.
That was a difficult day. Actually, a few days. Like, as I knew that, you know, the moment was coming when I had, and again, I was the one who left first.
Yeah.
From Japan, and I went back to Romania, and I think you left only like 1 or 2 days.
I left 2 days after.
2 days later. Yes. I remember. I mean, obviously, I was crying when we had to say goodbye. You took me to the airport, and then after, like, I was past the gates and I didn't see you anymore. I was just kind of like trying to calm down and be like, okay, it's okay. We'll see. We'll figure it out and everything. I got on the plane, and as the plane started like taking off, I was really close, I think, to where one of the flight attendants was sitting, and I just like burst into tears. And the flight attendant saw me, and she came to me and she looked very worried. She was like, "Are you alright?" Like, and I was like, "Don't talk to me." And she's like, "Leave me alone." It was, I think, probably one of the saddest moments in my life that I can think of.
Yeah. I think it really hit me the next day, right? Because you left from Osaka, but I took a train back to Tokyo and slept in Akihabara. And then I woke up, and Akihabara would be somewhere that we often went to together, right? And I woke up, walked around some of the places that we used to go to, some of the stores, and it felt so like different, so sad, so empty, you know. And it really hit me like, oh wow, this is gonna be difficult.
Yeah.
And difficult it was, and we both went back to our respective countries, and now we were just communicating through the internet.
Right. All the apps.
Yes.
All the messaging apps and Skype and video chatting and everything.
Video chatting to an extreme amount.
In the beginning, at least, I think the first like 3 to 6 months, it was insane how much we were talking. Because especially because in my case at least, because of the way the school year happens in Romania and everything, for I think even more than 6 months, I couldn't do anything.
Like work or go to
I
school.
I couldn't really work. I didn't have my diploma yet. I couldn't because I couldn't actually graduate. At that point in time, I had to wait another year to graduate. I couldn't go to school because I didn't have any more classes at that point. I actually had finished all of my classes, so I was like just stuck at home, pretty much doing nothing. Talking to you.
Yeah. On my side, right, I was back in school, finishing my degree, but yeah, we would be on call all the time. Sometimes even during my classes, nobody would see. Maybe if a teacher is watching now, they're like, "Oh, that's what he was doing." I was on Skype during the classes. So yeah, it was pretty crazy, and we went on like that for most of the years until I went to visit you for the first time in Romania. It was my first time in Europe, my first time in Romania.
How was that trip for you?
It was fun. It was really fun. I got to meet your family.
That is when I introduced you to my family, yes. I think that was a very important moment. It was like a milestone, another milestone in our relationship, because in that first year of us, being in a long distance relationship, a lot of people in my life, in my family and my friends were kind of questioning it, and not in like a distrustful way, but in a, oh, is this really working for you? Like, they didn't know you at that point, obviously, so they were thinking like, are you like pushing it too much? Are you forcing yourself to continue this relationship? And I kept telling them like, no, you'll see, you'll meet this guy and you'll love him, you'll see. And then they finally met you, and they really liked you. Everybody liked you in my family. Did you feel that?
I really like them too, so I'm glad to hear that. So yeah, that was a really nice trip, and we got to rekindle and go around Romania together. You showed me some of the places that you liked, and I got to know you like on a different side, right? Because this was your country and your city, so that was also very nice. But then, of course, the summer wasn't eternal. We had to split again. But I kept visiting, and we went on some trips together. We went to the UK, we went to Italy together.
Right.
I went back to Romania.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
We also actually, you went back to Japan at some point.
At some point I went back to Japan, and you visited me while I was there. Yeah, because I was working in Japan for a while. But we were starting to kind of feel like that long distance thing, and visiting each other through these expensive trips was kind of like getting difficult.
Yeah, I think that the most difficult part for me was not knowing. Like, we didn't really know. We didn't always know when was the next time that we were gonna see each other, like when we were gonna be able to go on the next trip together, and we didn't know when is this gonna end. Like when are we finally gonna be together permanently. So I feel we kept going like this for about 3 years, and after 3 years it was really, it had gotten to me a little bit. When we were getting together on those trips during the long distance period of our relationship, it was so beautiful, but it was always kind of like an event, like, oh, we're together now for like this amount of time, we have to like go places, visit stuff, like let's enjoy the time together. But it wasn't comfortable, it wasn't just like that easy going. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't that like easy everyday feeling of being next to the person that you love.
Yeah, and people always often say long distance doesn't work, and
I wouldn't say it didn't work. I think it worked.
I think it worked. Of course, it worked. We're here together now.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, once we got to that point, it had become time to do something about it.
Right.
Otherwise, the relationship was gonna go in a direction that we didn't want it to go.
Yeah.
At that time, I was still in Japan, living there, but we decided to the easiest thing to do would be for you to move to Canada.
Yeah.
Because, you know, moving to Japan is difficult.
Right.
And so I decided, you know, to like leave Japan, even though I like being there, come back to Canada, and then you moved here,
Yeah.
so that we could be together. How was that moment when we finally you're getting on the plane towards Montreal? What were you feeling?
I was extremely happy, but it was for me, it was another bittersweet moment, you know, because obviously I missed you and I knew that I was gonna, you know, go somewhere in this world to be with you, whether it was gonna be in Japan or in Canada or somewhere else. But I had to leave my family behind. And it was difficult, and it was different than, for example, when I went to Japan the first time, because I knew that I was gonna be back soon-ish, like within a year. And even then, like, I missed them, but I knew that I was gonna be back, so I was like, oh, it's gonna be fine, it's just 1 year. But this time I had the feeling that like I'm leaving them, well, obviously not forever, I'm still visiting them and they're visiting me and everything, but I'm leaving home, you know, and I'm going so far away to settle my life somewhere else, you know.
Yeah.
So that was not easy, of course, but I knew that I was gonna do that. And I was very happy. When I got off the plane, I was so excited, and it was, I don't know, it was such a special moment. I was just, the whole time I had like butterflies, and it was very different than any other time when we had met, just like for a trip or something like this, because I knew that this time it was gonna be like permanent.
And of course, you know, that's a conversation that we had together, right? We decided to get to Canada together. If we had decided to do the reverse process and go to Romania, you know, I was willing to do that too. The important part was that we would be together finally.
Yeah, I think that's also, that's important to mention, that we both agreed that it was the best for both of us, for me to come here.
So now, you know, you're in Canada and we're living together. It's kind of familiar, right? Because we were basically living together in Japan, but it's kind of new also. Right? And I remember it was really exciting, you know, for me to show you around the city, for me to prepare the place with you. And that's something that I really enjoy, because I had rented an apartment in Montreal, but it was empty, and I left it empty so that we could build it together.
Right.
Well, build it, you know, like put the furnitures in, paint, etc. Did you like that?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I was so happy because it made me feel like, you know, I'm coming here and we are both starting something new, even if this was the place that you were familiar with, like it's your country, it's your city, right? I didn't feel like I was coming as a guest from the moment we got to the apartment, like after we came from the airport. And it was all messy. There was some furniture, but it was like still wrapped, like it was unpacked. The only thing that was there at that point was a mattress, because you were sleeping in the apartment at that point.
This is where we sleep. The first bed that we sleep in, it's on the floor. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it in the videos? We're sleeping on the floor. Oh yeah, you see it.
This is the bed, this is the floor.
And I also remember, actually, there was a hammock and an easel. And you had gotten those for me because there were two things that I had just like casually mentioned at some point that I would like to have, and you prepared them like as a surprise, and they were already there. But everything else was unpacked, and I got there and I thought like, oh, this is good, you know, like I feel like I'm coming here and I get to like create my space, you know, or like both of us together, obviously, but I also get to have my own, like my input into it, you know, like we can discuss, oh, where should we put the couch, where should we put the TV and all of that. And it made me feel like we're starting to build a home, you know.
And build it we did. We even painted, which was something you also said you wanted to do, but afterward you regretted.
I did. I don't regret having the experience. Now I know that I don't want to do it ever again. So I'm glad that I did it then.
That was in the summer. You said, oh, you know, we built the apartment together, we furnished it, etc., painted, and now we live together. Was it different than what you had remembered it being like in Japan?
Not at all. Not at all. That feeling, like that comfort that I had, just like being with you, it came back right away. Like as I was just, you know, going day by day, I was thinking like, oh yeah, this is right. This is exactly how I remember it. And it didn't have that sense of urgency anymore. We could easily just like not do anything and not feel like we're missing out because I have to leave in like a few weeks or something like this. It was finally like emotionally comfortable for me to just be there with you in every moment.
Yeah, it was really nice. And, you know, in addition to, you know, us being together, it was also the first occasion for me to, you know, present you to my family in person. You know, they all met you. They all really liked you also. But also,
I'm glad they did, because I love your family. They are so nice and they've been so welcoming to me here. I think, yeah.
But also we'll show you some of my favorite places around the city. Just like, you know, when I went to Romania, you showed me. And we lived together, and eventually I brought you to one place that I brought you often, one of my favorite places, which is Montreal.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
On top of Montreal.
That trip to Montreal.
I gave you a ring that you're wearing now.
This one. This first one.
Exactly. And we ended up eventually getting married, Anna.
Yes.
Indeed.
And then I gave you a ring.
Yes, exactly. Did you ever think we would get married, you know, when we met all the way back then in that dorm? Of course not.
Yeah, no, at some point.
At some point?
Yeah.
When?
Actually, pretty early. I didn't specifically think, oh, I'm gonna get married to him, but I thought pretty early on that, you know, if we can somehow make it, considering that we were from different countries, that I would be with you for the rest of my life. You know, and yeah, usually that includes marriage. Doesn't have to, but but yeah, I think I thought about it.
Yeah,
I thought about it pretty early on here when we started dating.
Yeah. To me, like I said, you know, I didn't go to Japan with any of those ideas, you know, so when I look back on it now, it's such a surprise, right? That all of this happened and took the turn that it did, you know. Even the idea of being in a long distance relationship for years was not something that, if you had asked me, would you do that? I'd be like, no, not really. I'm not interested in that.
Right.
But we did because we wanted to stay together, and I think in the end it was definitely worth it. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Because we're married and we're having a little panda here.
A little panda.
And hopefully from now on we'll be also able to go on new adventures now with our team of 3 and discover new things, realize some of our shared dreams, because that's what this channel and we are all about, you know, trying to discover the world, trying to realize our goal and our dreams, and sharing them all with you, Anna.
Yes.
That was the story of how
we came here.
Yes, how a Romanian girl met a Canadian guy in Japan and ended up marrying him, and now you're having a baby.
Yep. That's what life had in store for me.
Yes. We hope you enjoyed this little story time with Anna, me, and Bamboo and little panda over here. If you did like this video, comment in the comment section below about your own experiences, if you've ever been in an international relationship, long distance relationship, or any type of relationship that you think is interesting. I would like to know.
Yeah.
Or any comments about our story in particular.
Or questions.
Yes. Like this video if you did. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to join us in our journeys.
The button is down below.
Yes, thank you for watching and have a nice day.